Share. This will be good on buttons. This is how the last one. Session. Yay! You're so quiet. I was like, we're tediously studying our pocket. Meeting happening. Yeah, for sure. Might have. You say I was working today.
I do this summer
I'm
project.
just here making this. Actually, you were so good.
You have to be fun.
I was really funny in the board meeting.
Yeah.
I felt very proud. I was like, no one's gonna pick her up.
I don't think they do not know that much.
I mean, that's you.
I did too at first, and I was like, no.
I was wrong, I was.
I know we do. Thank you.
I haven't listened to the meeting.
Yeah, we're just not like this, but then.
I get a bike for
Oh, yeah, I remember that, it will never catch you.
If I'm ready, you should be like, because that means there's something to.
Yeah, so it's every day I say that. Okay.
It
doesn't matter that much that you're not.
But you do.
Just.
No,
For sure.
Yeah.
Updated
Like,
for my company.
who,
Yeah, so
like,
they all
it took, I really got 11 miles, like, even in like sixth grade.
You can still chat though. Okay, forgive me, is that good or bad?
Really,
Oh,
like, the graders were running like some were running, like, definitely under 10. Oh my god.
We're even.
Seven, eight, the norm.
Eight is what people were.
Yeah.
Maybe I was like, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all weird.
The next name. Will show that site.
Did they put, Rich on economic development? Cause that was the whole thing, cause I was like, if I come onto this, I didn't wanna do economic development anymore.
They tabled all of those appointments
They
for the
tabled,
next
okay.
meeting, because there's
Okay.
also the Water Sewer Commission, just the Sewer Commission.
That's what we proclaimed.
And EDM and. I think George is trying to get Alice to soon to do that one. And then Parks, so.
So I won't vote, I'll just think, cause it sounds like they maybe haven't officially appointed me yet,
Okay,
but I'll still be here.
alright. Well, it is that time, so we get started? Can we get started? All right, the Parks and Recreation Commission Town of Georgetown regular scheduled meeting, April 2nd, 2026 at 6:02 p.m. Notice an agenda for regular meeting. Town Hall will be open to the public for this meeting. There is an option to join virtually. If you would like to leave a comment, please call 303-569-2555 extension 2 or email townofclerk@townofgeorgetown.us and we will give you details regarding the meeting. Call to order, roll call. Chairman Christian Wellbaum here. Vice Chairman Tom Paxton. Nick Mendetto.
Here.
Daniel Owen. Jessica Arnpool.
You got them here.
Lexi Berger.
Present?
And BOS Representative Amanda Cooper joining us for the first time replacing Rob Connell. Oh, we get Tom Paxton showing up.
Here.
Okay, there it is. Agenda approval.
I motion to approve the agenda for April 2nd.
All in favor?
I.
Aye. To audience business, members of the audience will have 5 minutes to present any matter of concern to the commission. No official action may be taken at this time. Andrew's with us here today, but he's part of the agenda for the Parks and Rec sign that Lexi and I have to go over with you guys, so we'll just throw them in with that if you guys don't mind. Minutes approval for March 5th, 2026.
I motion to approve the minutes for March 5th, 2026. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, first on the agenda today is the park sign update.
Do we have audience people that want?
Oh, do anyone in the audience?
Matt, do you have anything you want to say? Oh, we're going to skate park? Just
Not
anybody in the audience can talk about whatever
That's not already on the agenda. Our skate park is on the agenda today. If you
Okay.
had something you want to talk about, then we can wait till we get to that and you can chime in if you need to, or if you have anything to say, or,
I'm here, my name's Matt.
all right,
I build skate parks, so I just don't want to be involved with that, so.
all right, cool. Thank you for joining us. So the park sign, you want to take us off?
Yeah, sure. So we went ahead and met regarding the preliminary design concepts for the park sign. We went and took some more intermediate and advanced technicalities into consideration. We do have an audience member here with us to kind of go over after we've met our final design concepts. If you'd like to go ahead and present yourself, please. I don't want to butcher your presentation, so please go ahead.
My name is Andrew Ratliff. I'm the owner of Chase Fabrications, based in Empire, Colorado. Been in business for the last 8 years. A lot of the stuff we do is metal fabrication, sign being a majority of the work as well. So talking to Lexi and Christian, last week, I guess it was. I've been working with Dennis to design the big archway for the front of Georgetown as well. So going along with the same style, we're using, large I-beams, lots of metal. The actual panel, I don't know if I can share it on Zoom or not, or if I should on an iPad. I don't know if anyone has a rendering of it yet.
I want to share it, and we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be easier if I can screen share this.
I think it would be best actually, yeah, and then we have it recorded in the record.
Does it matter if I join as a panelist or
You have to join us. panelists.
panelist?
You have
Sure.
Chair.
All right, so here's the rendering of the park signs that we have drawn up here. I have another drawing that shows all the dimensions here. These are about 6.5 feet tall as they're drawn up here. If you look around this middle panel, we use this park as just an example. I know there's lots of parks here. So essentially the name of the park at the top, and then the bottom would have the Georgetown logo, kind of universal, at the bottom of each park sign. I-beam construction, turnbuckle hardware to secure the metal panels. The panel itself would be a Corten steel. So you can imagine, a 1/4 inch piece of Corten steel. For anyone not familiar with Corten is the weathering steel, so it has a higher copper content. And it's made to rust to a certain point, and then it just patinas and it essentially stays like that. So it's like, really easy to maintain. If you have a problem with vandalism, as long as there's not big gouging marks in there, you can actually just refurbish them, sand them down, rust them again. Or you could just replace the whole panel as well. Christian, I did get a quote, just if you talked about extra panels, I have a number for you. I can give it to you later for just if you wanted extra pre-cut panels for each park sign.
Awesome.
And also, again, as long as I'm in business, you can just always ask me, I'm right up the street, you know? So on these signs here, we also have, you can kind of see in here, there's a galvanized backing. So right now we have it drawn up with a rib, or you can imagine like a roofing galvanized material. Has the waves in there. We could also use a flat piece of galvanized as well. It really just depends on the look you want. And then what we talked about last week was actually not shown in this model, but coming around the backside, we could put another piece of Corten steel on the back. And that would then allow for any kind of feature attachments or extra information on the backside of that sign. One thing as an option too is backlighting. So because these letters are cut out in the Corten steel, we can actually put LED lighting inside the layers. So at night, you'd actually be able to see and read the signs. Now there's some technical concerns with solar versus electric or grid power. I think we need to kind of discuss that a little bit more. Solar can get a little expensive, as well as just vandalism. We have batteries and solar panels out within reach of anyone. Have a couple options too, as far as securing batteries. I'm happy to go over with that with you later with that. One thing we talked about too is these bases. Right now they're shown anchored to the ground. I think we're actually gonna change that probably with our meeting. Our sign for the archway. Let's see. Our sign for the archway actually has stone bases. So to match the archway here. We could actually modify these signs to have a stone base. Sorry, the internet's just being slow to upload here. If you look real closely at the big sign, you can see these stone bases. So essentially the park signs would have the same base to match. Painted I-beams, the I-beams will rest a little bit, so just to keep the rust stains down and the weathering, you know, we could paint it a black or a red, just whatever's preferred there. Any questions I can answer about these designs?
Got, one question, you mentioned the backing, kind of like a corrugated, what is the backing, what's the purpose of that? Generally,
So the backing, because we have a Corten steel, you know, it's a rusty front panel. So if you have a real dark background, when you're looking at something, you need that contrast. So having that bright, shiny, galvanized backing works really good with the rusty steel. Same with at night, if we have backlighting, that galvanized will really reflect the light out through the lettering. And then galvanized just because of its weather resistance, so.
yeah, and is it like, you mentioned like wavy versus flat, like is there an advantage to one or the other?
It's totally a preference, really. The rendering does show a little bit, you know, as you kind of pan around, you're gonna see like darker and lighter areas. Versus if you have a flat panel, it'll be more consistent. I have a little bit better rendering of another sign I'm actually working on right now. This might show it a little bit better. You can envision the Corten steel and then the galvanized backing that kind of makes all the letters pop.
Cool.
Yeah, I like that. And I think with the back corrugated, like we were saying, if we did like a solar panel on top of the I-beam or something for the lights, if we can't get power to it, you can put them in the middle of like anywhere in like the wavy length and they'll really pop out the light behind those
And get a
letters
little
at
bit
nighttime.
more, the light will bounce around a little bit more too.
Yeah.
This is the Georgetown Archway rendering, if anyone hasn't seen it yet.
Are those bases mortared in, or how's the stone done on the bases there?
The stone is actually gonna be facade work, so underneath there, those bases are about 6 feet tall.
Mhm.
So I have concrete drilled caissons that will actually extend above ground. And that'll connect directly to the steel, and then essentially forming a box around the caissons for the stonework.
Gotcha. And you do the same thing for the smaller signs?
The smaller signs, being that they're not that big, if we're doing bases, it actually is probably gonna be easiest to make a steel pyramid, steel base. We'll put lacking around and then attach the stone to that.
Cool.
Just makes installation real simple, bolt it to the concrete slab and go.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And if the ground's anything like the rest of the ground around here, drilling a round hole is impossible.
Yeah,
So, doing a concrete slab, I feel like is gonna be the quickest, easiest installation for the park signs.
yeah, I agree.
So for parks that needed interpretive signage and extra information, that might include replaceable signage, we were considering the flat backs.
Mhm.
And for parks that don't need or require such a thing, we were considering the wavy, I'll call it backs. So there may be a count that we need to take into consideration, especially as we adopt more parks. Here in the near future, as to how many of each type we actually want to have interpretive and, also just signage if we need, as far as how it's funded and things like that. City Park is one of them that I keep in mind and that we wanna advertise that. So, yeah, is there anything else I can
No, that's
mention or?
pretty much all that we talked about, yeah.
Doing great.
Unless there's any other questions anyone else has for us or for Andrew?
Next steps?
I guess the next steps would be getting together and getting a price for the signs and for the installation.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about whether, for the solar panels or batteries, anything that we need included in each one of those signs. And one thing we should probably discuss is like what signs or what parks we want to start with.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be like all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Get maybe a handful of them here and there for this summer possibly.
Sounds good. Keisha, I have a question. Does this have to go to DRC?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay. I would assume so, but
we were just told to get all of our eggs in one basket before we presented it, so.
that's,
It's one of the reasons we're going with, similar to the big sign as
Yeah.
well.
no, that's a really good strategy.
Yes.
So that's why I was like, okay, yes. Just try, yes, 100%. They're really amazing signs. Like, I think they look super clean and.
I think what he's got is beautiful. I like this
Really
matches
good
the
eye.
whole concept of what we were talking about before too.
Yeah.
So, good job there. Anything else regarding the park signs?
Good work.
Thank you, Andrew, so much for showing up and doing that today. I appreciate that. On to the next, the skate park design. Tom and I met at the skate park this last week as well, or Monday, actually, and we went over a couple of different ideas, and we're really looking at the ground over there and how much space we have to work with. And we were going over some of the plans that the students had given us, and we thought like there's a lot of extra ground that we could use back there compared to what they have so far. They just have it sketched out to what is the basketball court already right now with very little going past it. And we have so much to work with, we figure why not expand it as much as we can. On top of that, we were thinking maybe first getting together with some skate park builders, getting a couple different people in mind and some ideas on what's actually doable there. What we can or can't do, especially if we want like a viewing area up top, bathrooms anywhere. That's something to really discuss and go over. And then we were talking about like what they did in Adams Springs was get like a little event at the current little skate park that they have there. Get as much of the community involved as we can and get like ideas from the kids and other adults in the community for what we can do there.
Yeah, we're thinking we kind of talk to some people around here that are invested in it and get them kind of start a kind of community group that would be obviously set up to kind of help figure this out from the community point of view and like what people want and whatnot. And when you get into the further on, you're gonna need that anyway, so you might as well start now.
Right.
And so yeah, we're thinking maybe like in a month or so, have a little event down there. we could talk to some people and get some stuff to, some freebies and stuff and have a little skate party down there and get some people.
Yeah, we have a bunch of friends that have like little skate companies and love tossing stuff away and. Friends who do music can possibly just set up and play some music or something, and then you have a couple little skate events for the kids and anyone that wants to show up and skateboard and. Go over ideas and see what's doable and what's not.
I think that would be a good basis to get a group of people together, you know, get an email list going. See who's in, who's gonna get involved in that.
But yeah,
We did some stuff like this quite a while ago. Just, you know, through time, things have happened, we were basically starting over from scratch, but it'll be. I think it'll be not that hard, there's a lot of people that want this and it'll be easy to get a lot of kids and people and businesses involved, so. See what we can figure out and get a community half going, and then that will help steer us in the right direction.
right.
So it sounds like you guys have kind of a subcommittee on the Parks Commission right now.
Yeah.
You're trying to get together a larger task force.
Yeah, and that'd be based off of people that aren't on any boards, you know, they could kind of be their own unit.
Right.
And they could chime in and have a say in things, and
So if you guys want to put a call out to the committee, just let us know. And we have a newsletter and we have our social media pages.
That's what we were talking about, is like maybe trying to get together and find a good day in the next month or two, and then do like our newsletters, PO boxes or something, getting the word out to all the people in town.
yeah, and I didn't know if we needed to be written out on your insurance for that date or something, or if that's a
Or
thing.
you mean having an event?
Yeah,
Well, you are part of the town, so you're already covered by the town. There are some other things planning that event, if you want to do music, we need to do an amplified sound permit. Just depends on what you want the event to look like, but we do probably need to have the details of that kind of locked in at least 30 days in advance, so if we wanna do it this summer. Let's work out the details for that, okay?
cool, yeah, we're thinking like maybe end of May, June or something, so we'll start.
So maybe for like the next month, we can start talking to people and see what we can get together and then come to you before the next park day.
Day.
Great.
Cause then, if we get going in the summer, then we can maybe do it in summer, then. Kind of keep it going.
Yeah.
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 I like that.
It is in the middle of a neighborhood, so don't forget.
Right.
Okay.
But
It could be all daytime hours stuff.
that's, they're gonna be rocking out at 8 o'clock in the morning.
It could be pretty chill, but then Matt, did you have anything you want to say?
So, at one point, I had heard that you had a design from ARC.
We did, yeah.
We've had a few, and
Okay.
there's a handful of things in those designs that we do like. But one of the first things mentioning is like they're just, it's kind of consolidated within the basketball court itself now.
Gotcha. Is there a survey of how far?
We had the survey done, we have a
Okay.
lot over there, like, much further than what that basketball court
It
is.
thinks-
Is anything marked out or?
A little bit, I'd be happy to show you.
Just go over the can paper.
And then curiosity we had was whether things could be built on top of the existing slab of cement, which is
Okay.
pretty immaculate for how long it's been there. It's not
Yeah.
cracked or anything like I know Spring Skate Park turned into a cracked multi-level craziness of
Yeah.
danger. So I don't know if that's like something that absolutely needs to get demolished to build, or if it's the how
Yeah,
Yeah,
if the slab needs to come
that's
out.
the kind of thing I don't understand or.
There's a couple of different things, yeah. It can do a lot, like just cutting into the concrete where the transition comes down to the bottom and just like,
Right.
it's only like 6 inches or something.
That
So
would be a
anyway,
great money saver if we could
Absolutely.
not demolish that.
Yeah.
So you would just have to cut into where like any of those features going from that concrete into like a ramp or something.
That and like kind of towards the back where that's a retaining wall.
Yeah,
Just kind of like. Get the original plans and see what's actually under there, like how thick that is and what the retaining wall, like. I don't have an engineering degree, so I can see it in my head, but I don't know what's feasible there.
right.
But I think using that existing flat bottom would save a lot of money, be pretty cool. And then depending on what around that, we could dig down outside of that area, or maybe use half of that basketball court. Yeah. I mean, I got ideas in my head, but.
you be on the community.
Beyond drawing, beyond notebook, you know, but, not that much, but like, yeah, just figuring out what the people actually want there.
Yeah,
So. You're just kind of starting from scratch, looking for more design ideas?
We're,
Yeah.
we're gonna, the skate park now, that basketball court, we're gonna extend it on both ends. Coming all the way out to the stairs, that when you're first coming up on Main Street. And as far as we can, the other direction where that little road going down the hill is.
Okay.
We were thinking maybe if the possibility going up the hill towards the Main Street a little bit if we can, cause
Great.
we have all the way to the road. And like I said, quite a few on each side too, so we were thinking like the fence line, except for where the tennis court drops to the tennis court, obviously keeping a fence line up right there.
Okay.
But taking all that fencing out and then just expanding the heck out of that park.
Have you talked to any companies yet?
in the past, but
Okay.
not,
Not
anything like that, we're pretty much starting from scratch.
Starting, okay.
It's a big project, so we're gonna have to
Yeah.
definitely talk to more than one company.
Like, you know, in meetings 4 years ago, it seemed like you were trying to go with that ARC design,
Yeah, that was.
but nobody could show it to
A
me.
while ago. Oh, I can show you if you want.
Okay.
Is that the same thing that the students are putting together?
No,
Okay.
Because we have that. right?
their
Yeah, I got-
concept
I got a
is
few.
very general though,
Okay.
and it's not.
But it might be helpful to like after the event to at least be like.
Sure.
Yeah,
So,
If we're looking at that, they have some really broad, like, areas, that's kind of what we're talking about at the ends too, where it's just kind of like,
There's not.
nothing.
Yeah, but if you have like
There's
a
like a
printed
place
out,
to-
people like be like, that's good, this, that.
so we got a red cow is what you're saying.
Yeah, well,
Okay, cause I went to an event in Evergreen, last summer, and they were trying to get ideas and stuff, and a lot of people showed up, and they had like, a bulletin board
Yeah.
with. What do you want at the
Yeah.
park? Like flat bar, bowl, mini bowl, street course, with a bunch of different things, and then they gave out stickers to the kids, and they put like stickers on like what kind of features that they actually wanted.
yeah,
We're gonna list of all the park builders, and people were like able to kind of sway their idea of who they wanted to build it.
cool.
And, no, it's just like a couple of things, you know, like how to get input.
Yeah, that's good. We're thinking something like that, or that's a cool idea. We're thinking like, just like a, not a flyer, but like a, kind of like breakdown what you think should be.
Yeah, like look at poster board, like,
Yeah,
art
yeah.
project, like,
Kind of
you
like
know,
have the,
couple of things, you know,
yeah,
like, here's a mini, here's a little bowl, like, just like, what do you want?
start getting some
Yeah.
input from people that are gonna be there.
We could take the old plans, kind of the UTAP thing, and put it all out there, say, hey guys,
Yeah.
this is everything, like,
Their
you know,
plans
just
are,
inspire.
their plans are really cool. They're just, as far as the actual park goes, it's totally like, not.
like where they at,
You know what I mean? But they're not skate park.
they're keeping it
Right.
like.
They were at a park and they kind of
Yeah,
drop a skate park in there, but you know, obviously the features, to get like the kind of big picture, you know, might be helpful for some people.
and like down by the tennis courts where there's kind of a road and people kind of park. We're looking at that, there's a lot of area there where on that design, there's only just like a bike path going, like a single track going through there. And that
Like-
could be there, but there could also be like a 6-car parking area there
Mm,
to facilitate the
Probably.
influx of people that are coming to this park now.
Yeah,
This is skating, and I mean, people use that tennis court all the time, so. We don't want.
Definitely could use a lot of that for parking. We were looking at it.
And
you
with
could
Greenway,
extend that-
across the street. too.
Yeah, you could extend that skate park quite a bit to the north side with that bike trail still coming through from the road. And then having like a decent parking lot up somewhere down there if we could.
nice.
Yeah, cause there is gonna be. I think more parking.
Like, I mean, there's a huge open field that, I mean, even if we just did like the skate park there and that, trail, for the bike park.
make this happen. That's fine.
We haven't,
We
we
haven't
have
planned
to
it.
start, we're gonna start breaking ground on it, is what we were told in 2027, so it's probably spring of next year.
Yeah, kind of figure out who's doing what, and get plans together during this year, and then hopefully. Get it going.
Hopefully we can start on it a year from this month, that'd be nice.
Is there a budget at this point, or are we still trying to fundraise?
We have-
Here it is.
I think we were told like $1 million for the skate park right now.
Okay.
That's a 5-year.
And, oh yeah, and that's like a,
Like,
for,
oh,
We told them,
yes.
we told you guys to double it, didn't we?
The board of selectmen.
Yeah.
I wanna give it
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like where your head's at.
Now's the time, right?
Spending all the town's money.
What you're professional.
There's two different things, okay, well, there's three different things, there's this year's budget, okay, which is the money that the board of selectmen has allocated. Based on expected revenues for this project, this year we have budgeted the engineering. Long term, we have a capital improvement plan where we have sort of like pie in the sky, just sort of estimated how much we think this will cost long term. That money is not budgeted, it's not necessarily even funded, but it is our expected expenditures long term. Revenues, we do have like money that comes from the general fund, that comes from the specific park sales tax. But we are also expecting to apply for grants that will help
I was-
assess this, so when you say is it funded, I mean, there's a lot of different grants that you can apply for. When we say is it funded, like, it is funded in the sense that we're planning for it, but it is not literally funded yet.
There's $1 million sitting somewhere.
Oh, yeah, so we
Over
hope that
stuff.
we would be able to find that,
Yeah,
it's not.
And just throwing this out just while it's in my head, like I worked on a part 2 years ago with gypsum. And they actually involved students, and part of them, some of those students, their involvement with the skate park was actually trying to write grades. So that's, I mean, that's another, I don't know, kind of cool thing.
Useful skill for students
Yeah.
to learn too.
Mhm.
Very wish, let's see.
Okay. So that's fine. All right, cool.
Oh, man. Not good.
no sweet. Matt, thank you for having your input on that, we appreciate that. Does anyone else have any questions for Tom and I or Matt regarding the state park?
So that sounds great.
All right,
Yeah, we feel like that'd be a good kind of kickoff,
Yeah,
kind
sounds good.
of alert community, involved community.
I think it'd be smart to get together with people who could possibly build it first and see what's doable and not doable, and then explain to them like, we can go this far and this far, and here's what we can do and can't do. What are your ideas, you know?
And I think we know enough, we've seen enough skate park planning and done
Yeah.
that we can start with what do you want your park?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
we've got some, like Evergreen is a couple steps ahead of us right now with doing one. And they just did like a cool online survey that they sent out and people could just click on what they liked and.
Oh, that's cool.
I know that guy's over gonna talk to him too and see if we can maybe do something like that too.
Where's the park in
Good
Evergreen?
day, Hunter.
I don't know who they hired, but they finalized their designs.
Oh.
It's gonna be at that park when you're going like King Supers down the little
Mhm.
back way. In Burger Park kind of.
Yeah,
That park that is like.
Where they have the market and stuff like others,
I
right?
think so, yeah, it's kind of a big park and there's big kind of free-ish area and then they've got some ball fields over there.
okay, I know where it is now.
Kind of,
Picture
yeah,
it.
in between like, I don't know, kind of over by King Supers, but.
Like on that South Bergen
Yeah.
Parkway, like towards the orthodontist, that's how I would say it.
Yeah. Kind of like Tuscany Town.
When your kids get braces, you'll know, yeah, that's where your kids go to the orthodontist, when it's time.
But so we've got some ideas of people's brains we're gonna pick too that are doing it, and Cameron, who, and Idaho Springs said she'd be helpful to us too, because they just did out of this Idaho
Yeah.
Springs, so.
Yeah, I worked on that one, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to pull all the local knowledge we can and see like a good start.
I think it's a great way to start. All right,
Hey Matt, what is your last name?
Atkin, ATKIN.
Thank you.
on to the next, the Pizza Whirl in Greenway Parks, Nick, Jess and Lexi, you guys have anything on those?
No.
Yeah,
Not got together.
unfortunately, we did
No.
not.
Yep, hopefully,
This month, though, you can do that.
Do.
We're get together on
Okay.
ideas and something to present.
next week, I don't know. The last week.
I'm not sure this month is gonna.
Yeah, this month's enough.
Can we say May?
That sounds great.
Okay, I'll send an email to you guys and schedule something for May.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So
Sorry
maybe don't put us
about
on the
that.
agenda for next month
Next
then.
we'll keep you on there, just to shame you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Second
I'm
round.
holding you accountable.
That's right.
You haven't done anything.
Alrighty then, on to the next, special event calendar information only. I thought there was going to be something printed up for this. Do you have anything for the special event calendar, special
I
event
do
calendar?
not, I can tell you about some of the special events we have going on though. We've got Easter egg hunt this weekend in Whirlwind City Park. Something that I'd like to consider for next year is moving the baby one out of the dog park, like. It's just very gross in my opinion, like we clean it up of course, but we could move it somewhere else, I think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool to have it in Greenway Park? We hid eggs in Greenway. Anyway, that's coming up. And Memorial Day weekend is gonna be big, you know, we'll do our Strauss Park, pancake breakfast, community center, and we'll have burros and the Veterans Day celebration on Monday. And we also have other special event, 4th of July, of course. The fire department is, I think all of us know that fireworks are probably not gonna be an option, so, you know, yeah, but we're working on some other stuff, so.
Drone show.
Yeah.
Huh?
Drone show.
We're looking into it.
They're
We're looking into
cooler, they're cooler with other stuff.
it.
Well,
No,
I wanted, I was like, it's gonna be down, it was awesome.
yeah,
Let's say for all days of the year though, to pick the one day that everyone's looking for a drone show, that has to be high.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the reason fireworks are so expensive. That's why we stopped doing fireworks so long ago, is because they were like so outrageous and then so dry.
Pick an off day.
Drones, I like those.
The Slacker is happening this summer, and there's also a 4th of July. I think it's a 10K that Jen Jordan is putting together.
It's a bad one.
Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Anything else for these special events? Okay. All right, next is the consideration of Beth Sample as an alternate on the Parks and Recreation Commission. Beth, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, and I didn't know there's a huge picture of that. Yes. She hasn't died.
It does like numbers. But yeah, that's simple. I've seen a lot of friendly faces here at the table. Been in Georgetown for just over 2 years now and have been getting involved in the community. I got talking with Nikki Keisha and they mentioned the opportunity with Parks Department. Just mentioned it was good people and looking for ways to get more involved. Most of my volunteer up till now has been with Elbow, hanging out with him for the Old Town school events and helping out at hotel repairs. So my background is in GIS. I'm a GIS. I work with utilities essentially to map their underground assets. So I do have some skills that I hope I could bring to help with some of the mappings and other digital data for the Parks Department. With my education, one of the projects I did was actually going to parks in for Michigan, Ypsilanti, Michigan, doing assessments of the parks on the infrastructure and quality of it, and doing some heat maps on making some recommendations for improvements. So if you're interested, I'm looking for some opportunities to get more involved and yeah, look forward to it.
I don't know how this would necessarily work with Dan, but he just messaged me saying that he might need to step down from Parks, so we'll have a position available instead of an alternate, if that's something you would be interested in.
Yeah, definitely.
So Dan would need to submit a letter of resignation to us, the staff, and then we would put it in front of you guys to accept his resignation. And then you can recommend to the board right now that Beth be appointed as an alternate. If Dan submits his resignation before the next board of selectmen meeting, they can decide to move her into a full position. So what I recommend is that you motion to recommend to the Board of Selectmen that Beth be an alternate to the commission, unless there is a vacancy, in which case you recommend her as a full member.
So then for the time being, is there a motion to recommend Beth Sample as an alternate to the BOS for the Parks and Rec Commission?
I motion, but as stated, is that how you do that?
So moved.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Beth, so much. Appreciate your volunteer work. And I will get in contact with Dan and I'm gonna make him come up in front of us and do that, so that'd be great.
This was on your person.
Yes.
Justification.
Wants to get involved, but maybe, you know, he can't make every meeting, he could be the alternate.
That's what I was actually going to suggest to him, because I know he wants to be a part of it, but he's just been super busy lately. He's missed a few of them, so I'll try to talk him into being an alternate if that's something to do with it.
As long as that's the dedication that you're looking for too.
Yeah.
You were trying to be the ultimate. Okay, I was just making sure you're like.
Yes.
I tricked her because, it's like, there's a vacancy on parks, but it's the board of selectmen role, and so I was like, oh, Beth, there's a vacancy, but then I was like, I'm so sorry, actually, it's the board of selectmen that's vacant, so you can't fill that role yet.
Unless you want Ward 1, and if that's the case, I'm good, and I'll just go.
You're not having fun, you just started.
I know, so you guys are fine, I'm talking about number.
I'll say we're the cool kids.
I know, I was so excited, you guys, like, I was so jazzed. I'll be on parks, you can just become the Board of Selectmen.
Perfect. Well, awesome. On to the next then, the staff and commissioner reports.
Kevin, so, as everybody's aware, the tree fell.
Very sad.
Yeah, gone for like half an hour and I came home and it was down, I'm like, a tree kid. Yeah, so, and it fell on the gazebo, so we cut the tree up, demolished the gazebo, cleaned that all up. Oh, it didn't hit the fountain.
Yeah, right next
It
to
did
it.
hit the fountain,
Right next to it.
before that, when the light pole that was there. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. So I don't know what they're gonna do, because I guess they're gonna rebuild it on the existing pad.
I have an update on that, you want me to talk about it, yeah.
Alright, go ahead.
So it has not been decided, we're gonna probably put it in front of the board, next board of selectmen meeting to discuss. But the current status is the base is salvageable, so we're in our minds thinking we should save the base, erect and like stabilize it, erect a railing of some kind, at least for the 4th of July, so that it's usable for the 4th of July. There's some discussion about whether or not the gazebo should be replicated as it was, or if it should be modified in some way. The DRC actually is recommending to the board, which I'll talk about at the board of selectmen meeting, that there are several different roof styles you could decide to switch to that are also Victorian and appropriate, but not necessarily exactly what it was before. The update today is that Cindy Neely and Tim McDonough have been discussing, and the weird little top part, you know how it's like this and then like go like that, and the little top part, apparently that's saved somewhere. Do you know what that is, Kevin?
I think they threw it away.
I also think they could, but Tim McDonough thinks it's somewhere, so if that's the case, if we still have that top part. We could just rebuild the roof, and it's not that complicated, it's just a 10-sided point.
That was pretty rotten anyways.
The roof?
Yeah, I think we've been talking about fixing the thing up anyway, right? Cause it was already kind of a mess.
Yeah, we definitely have that, so it will be up to the board of selectmen whether or not I think we want to erect again, like the same looking kind of structure, or if we wanna change it somehow. And I think a lot of that will hinge on whether or not that top piece still exists. Something the design review commission wanted to emphasize to the board is that the acoustics in there are really good, and they wanna make sure that whatever the new design is has good acoustics. So that's something that they're thinking about. If there's anything you guys want to emphasize to the board of selectmen, I'd recommend we talk about that right now so that we can include that in the discussion for the next meeting.
I have no.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't. Sounds like they have this down. Like,
And if you guys want me to take something to the Board of Selectmen, I want to do right by this group, so if there's things that need to happen that are important to you guys, I'll tell the board that.
I don't personally feel like it needs to be completely replicated, but I like the idea of it still being like Victorian, so I don't know, like anyone, if you disagree or you agree, but I think we should have something that goes back to the boards of selectmen from our group.
I mean, if they don't have that top piece, I mean,
Find the picture of it. here.
something new would
Now,
be.
free for one.
It is, I'm trying to find the picture.
It missed,
On the
it missed the top and just like chopped right next to it and just took the whole thing
It was
down.
like
So
a
the top, the actual top part wasn't
Oh,
damaged,
Yeah.
but I don't,
Oh,
I don't think it got saved.
Let me see if Mickey said it, but it was up there.
So do we feel strongly about?
I know, I can't
it
see
not
the-
getting
Look at the
replicated
top, it's so.
exactly the way it used to be? No.
No, and I think the PRC might feel more strongly about the
Yeah.
design of it than we do.
They actually are like, we don't care.
Oh, really?
I mean, they want it to be Victorian and appropriate, there's a lot of different style items, they don't feel like it needs to be exactly the same.
I think that's how we feel.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
aligned with them.
if the top is saved, I think replicating it the best you can wouldn't be harmful, or I think that'd be great, I'd
Yeah.
be fine with that, but if not, if it didn't get saved and something new and.
Yeah.
Some kind of new funky cool Victorian design for it would be awesome as well.
Something that I care about is, improving some of the functionality of it, so improving outlets around the exterior, so people can use that when they're inside. Better lighting, like keep acoustics for music venues, you know, we just got Christmas lights up on there, so I want that to be easy to do again.
Yeah.
So that's some like functional improvements. that,
There she is, took me a minute. So this part is the part that they made?
Yeah,
Yeah, that
Yeah.
top part.
I couldn't, how is it so weird, you've looked at it for so long, and I'm like, what does it actually look like in real life?
well, and even that, you know, we were talking about. If we have that and it can be saved, great, it probably needs to be reroofed, like the tiles are not, or the shingles are not like normal, so. We're rebuilding it, we're not gonna like go find the wood shape or whatever to match the top piece, so that's
And-
also.
In my opinion, if it's going to have to get all that work done to it anyway, might as well just like redo the structure.
That's almost a blessing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually got a photo of like the inside of it even, like. If
You can
anybody,
email that to me, because
Yeah.
the acoustic design on the interior is something that TRC does care about, yeah, so.
I'll dig up whatever I can find, but. Take some blood makers.
That'd be great.
The only thing that honestly I really think about as far as functionality is if, and I know that we're talking about saving the base the way it is, and I know the base had stairs. But if we end up like overhauling it, maybe considering a way that someone can wheel themselves into it. That's my only thing that I'd love to consider if we do the base and like, we don't save what's already there. Maybe there's a different opportunity with the existing base to make it so that it's a little more accessible.
Like the wheelchair ramp of it.
yeah,
Yeah, some kind, or even around the side that like goes up, you know, just big enough to wheel yourself in.
So Mickey said he didn't say the top.
He didn't,
We did, but then they ended up throwing it in the dumpster.
alright.
It's gone.
executive decisions made.
Well, it was rotten when we picked it up, it was like,
That'll be-
really,
Yeah, that'll be fun.
yeah, it was pretty rotten at the
Yeah.
bottom of it.
Was it the, I don't know, like, does the base have any storage? Does it do
Uh,
anything?
Underneath that space, yeah, Kevin does store stuff under there.
Yeah, we do store stuff, and there's electricity in that base too. So, it's shut off for now, but I am gonna have to turn it back on, because the sprinklers are run from underneath of that. and-
Hopefully like you didn't burn down, because
Yeah.
when it cut
Yeah.
So I had put installation in the shed at Strauss Park. It needed it, and then we're gonna put some drywall in there or some OSB over that. I put the skating rinks away. I did fertilize the parks in anticipation of getting some moisture, but we didn't get no moisture. Had water on the trees and fertilized them. So next week, I'm gonna be I'll probably be turning the sprinkler systems on. Get some water on it, at least for 2 days a week for now. And Dennis wants me to power wash all the sidewalks on the other Sixth Street. That's what I'm gonna be up to. That's it for me.
Keisha, do you have anything to add to reports?
The gazebo is the big thing.
Did we need to say anything about the park rules?
No, we didn't get
We didn't get the
copy of
draft
them.
for it.
So the park rules, from what I remember from that, are on the park facility permit, there's a list of rules.
I think we cut that at one of the last meetings, yeah.
Yeah, so,
It's
we don't
on.
have it in front of us to talk
Okay.
about, but that's what we're referencing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
also, the big tree, you guys, it might come before you at some point, what we do with the wood from that. I don't know exactly how big the pieces are, but there's discussion about should they be benches or tables, or should we?
So we cut that,
cover it?
we cut that tree into 20-foot sections,
Okay,
and we have it down there near vet parking,
okay,
so there's just 3 of them.
are you trying to get rid of any?
Yeah.
Well,
well, it's.
we thought
not
we were
like
gonna
a
build-
real-
I will take some of that wood in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would too.
I mean, one suggestion was like sell slices of it, cause a lot of people in town want those rounds, like they're
Mm.
cool pieces of wood.
but it's split right in the middle, so when you cut them in round,
Mhm.
they basically fall in halves.
Two halves.
I mean, even then, I think people would buy it from us.
You want it to
so-
burn or for
Huh?
decoration?
Decoration,
Oh,
that's
That'd be a good fun.
that's historical,
Take it.
that's a Georgetown historical, right there.
Are they the slabs and Oxford or something or whatever?
Can it
Yeah,
become
here's
a
your
cutting
cutting
park feature?
$100 the slab?
Become skate park money.
Yeah, either way, which becomes, yeah, exactly. Which becomes a skate park feature.
Pay to buy a slab and then we'll put the
But-
slabs in and we'll bring your name into it or whatever.
Maybe something like that, we should keep a slab for the parks though. Like, maybe do some kind of sign, some kind of, I don't know, not in memoriam for a tree, but, you know, like this, like.
It was, I was gonna say, it's
Like,
the oldest tree in town.
Straight down.
right,
That's why I want
maybe
some before.
something like that, if we're gonna start slicing it up and auctioning it off, keep one for the town.
So something for next meeting, just
Yeah.
to think about.
There used to be benches in City Park that were an old giant tree that had come down and someone had cut it. They were cool until they rotted out, you know what I mean, so.
those were all cottonwood,
Oh, is it? Okay.
and they were.
So this was last longer than that, 'cause I was like, at some point that became a problem.
All the bark is falling off and the whole, yeah. There's still one out there.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, it'd be sweet if we could sell pieces of the pie.
The one big pine tree by Peter Werler's house, you guys don't know the porta potty is on?
Mhm.
There's one pine tree down there. And Peter wants that cut down, he thinks it's gonna fall on his house. One side of it is pretty gnarly, like it's got some disease to it. And it is leaning to his house.
I mean, after this last wind, is there like anything, should the town go through and like just have trees inspected and seeing if there's anything else
To
coming
get
in?
trees inspected periodically.
Periodically, okay.
Yeah, I mean, every year we do, we flag.
So should I get a quote from Lambs to see if they're interested in cutting that one down?
Yeah,
The one by Foster's place is in good shape.
oh, there's an update I forgot about. Alex Cordeal gave me a quote for the roof on Foster's Place, and he's redoing that. That's been approved, and he's working on that house.
Oh,
Sweet.
He does good work.
that's good news.
And I'm trying to get a quote for new matting under the playground.
Ooh.
But I haven't gotten that yet, and honestly, it's probably gonna be a very expensive project, so.
Yeah.
That stuff's expensive.
Yeah. It is, and it's degraded to the point where we probably would need to review all of it, you know, we sort of patched it as we've gone, but there's a lot of pieces at this point.
Are there alternatives to that super expensive?
When we did the playground at the school, were you on that committee?
No.
There, I can dig up something, cause there's, the school uses like. Oh, there's like a padding, but then there's wood chip over, like a softer wood chip, over that padding. Which helps extend the life of it a little bit, and then but we found an alternative padding that was less expensive, and we actually got a grant for it at the time.
Yeah.
But it's been, that project's like 5 years old, so I don't know, I mean, everything's so expensive.
Does it stay put like in the wind?
Mhm, yeah, the one on there's the basketball court one comes up all the time, that one is a little coarser.
It's like a hard plastic.
Yeah, but the one that's on the playground is under those wood chips, and then there's the Astor turf,
They kind of make like a tub. And then it's full of wood chips,
but there's like a padding underneath that
yeah,
to keep the kids from breaking bones when they jump
yeah,
off of
it's like a
the.
soft
Mhm.
tub thing, you know.
When they jump off of the
underneath it, it's
pouches.
full of wood chips, and then it's got that rubbery underneath it, so.
Sounds comfy.
They jump them really high.
Yeah, they're definitely testing one of the.
Yeah.
Give me some more chips.
I can look for that information though, as far as but again, it was like, I don't know what costs are now on that stuff, it was
Yeah.
expensive 5 years ago,
Wouldn't hurt though.
but I can look.
Awesome.
We did have a parks guy come and look at Foster's place. He did basically tell us that that park was end of life.
I'm sure, I mean,
He did.
sucks because they update like what's safe and
Right.
what's not so much.
He was like, it's like a 10-year span of parks.
That thing's been there.
Yeah. I kinda laughed because he was like, oh, see the lip on this is like this big, that's out of compliance, I'm like. Well, they got here and all the sidewalks are worse than that, so.
Right. Well, and we've done stuff to it in the past, there was like a hole that you could go down, we had to seal that up.
Oh, that was the best part about it.
Right, the mine shaft.
Me and a couple of buddies got hurt on that thing. Had fun. It feels terrible. It feels terrible.
So we put it on as long as possible, but someday it's gonna be too
It's a pile.
hard to deal with, yeah.
Well, a lot of electric is actually made of hardy board, so it's concrete, the hardy board's in good shape, it just needs to be painted, there's wood that we're replacing now, with Alex Cordeal. But, you know, when that guy came out and was quoting, he was saying it's end of life because of the code, and also there's work that needs to be done that he will not do because. Of the code, like, he's like, I will only replace it if we have the like manufacturers. You know, all like he's very strict about what he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do.
Yeah.
Which I was like, the town has not adopted this code, so like, you don't need to worry about that, but, you know, he's part of this like big playground company, so they have. Bigger things to think about, us little old Georgetown. But the people who are giving me the quote for the matting are a little less nervous about that, and they said they would help us with some things if we wanted to replace the tire swing and. The matting is a huge liability anyway, so. Miracle Places to see that through this.
All right, does anyone have anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
I'm really excited to be here. Yeah.